World over, wherever they are, we extend you all a very hearty welcome this afternoon. It's indeed a great privilege for all of us that we are being joined by Madam Shakuntala Jai Singhani, the director from Trinity International School from Pune, in a beautiful city in India. We extend her a very hearty welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, we all are privileged because she has got a long experience as far as the education fraternity and the education ecosystem is concerned. This afternoon with Madam Shakuntala Jaisinghani ji from Pune, in a beautiful city in India, we extend her a very hearty welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, we all are privileged because she has got a long experience as far as the education fraternity and the education ecosystem is concerned. This afternoon with Madam Shakuntala Jaisinghani from Pune, in a beautiful city in India, we extend a very hearty welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, we all are privileged because she has got a long experience as far as
There's an echo going on. There's some echo.
Shakuntala Jaisinghani from. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have Madam Shakuntala Jaisinghani ji. Let me initially introduce her and get her on our main program today, the new education policy when we talk about. Now, Madam Singhani, because she's from a privileged city, Pune, a wonderful city, and are this webinar series what we are having, this is basically dedicated to making education relevant. And when we talk about making education relevant, what is the purpose of education? Why to go to school? Why to go to college? Why to go for technical education? Why to go for skills, competencies? Whatsoever we talk about in the education ecosystem, our chamber is dedicated to the service industry, and education is a part of services sector. And this afternoon, when I talk about afternoon, somebody is in a morning zone, somebody is in an afternoon zone, and somebody is in an equally, in the evening zone world over, in different countries, in different continents, in different time zones. So when we are talking about it, we extend a very hearty welcome to our brothers and sisters. Those are non-resident Indians, and they're watching this particular program live from the different continents and different countries. We extend you also a very hearty welcome. And at the same time, the natives, those are friendly, those are watching this program through the network of our NRIs, we extend you also a very hearty welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and at the same time to Madam Shakuntala Jaisinghani ji also, Director, Trinity International School. Now, Madam, she has proven track record of more than 4 decades in the field of education as teacher, as principal, as director, as consultant, as a teacher trainer, as an inspector of schools in India and abroad. Of course, we are a little scared when you hear a word called inspector because we don't want now more inspectors. A teacher for 22 years with a wide range of teaching science, maths, English to the primary, secondary, and the senior secondary classes. A principal and administrator for 20 years, having set up multi-scale educational entities, she has played a multifaceted role in all field of education. Currently, she is the director of the Trinity International School and Junior College Master Trainer for the CBSE, a school inspector. I'm going to tell my team next time, don't put a word inspector. People get scared the moment you put inspector. In United Arab Emirates for quality assessment for the Dubai Knowledge and Human Development Authority, a consultant for an IGCSE school in Tokyo, and next and the textbook validator for Padar Management Mumbai, When I think about Tokyo, automatically the words come to my mind. Shiavasse nara teota tako, shiavasse nara taido de shimiso. Her achievements include International Leadership Excellence Award by Macadamia Dubai, National Building Award by Rotary Club Pune, International School Award, Leadership Award by the British Council, Best Principal by Rajasthan Board of Education for excellent results in the board exam. Ladies and gentlemen, we all are privileged this morning, this afternoon, this evening in the different time zones, and we extend a very hearty welcome to Madam Shakuntala Jaisinghani ji, the director of the Trinity International School, to share her vision with all of us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, with these words, I extend her a very warm welcome, and it's a privilege to have her. And ma'am, नमस्कार, प्रणाम आपको, बहुत बहुत आपका स्वागत है हमारे चेंबर पर, इंटरनेशनल चेंबर फॉर सर्विस इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से. और आज की दोपहर, because the world over people are joining, so I would like the new education policy 2020 which has come, whatever dimension you would like to give, whatever you want to share, the audience is yours, the time is yours, the humanity is yours, the continents are yours, the countries are yours, and the non-resident Indians and the natives in the different countries are also yours. Let's share your vision for the new education policy 2020.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gulshan. Like you, I am also passionate about education. That is why at this age, I'm wearing so many hats, and I'm doing so much more than I could have done earlier. Because after a certain age, when your responsibilities are all over, you can dedicate yourself totally to that field of passion that you have. So that's what exactly I'm doing. And when you said inspector of schools, yes, yes, it is. I'm sure all the Dubai principals and teachers do not like that word at all. But unfortunately for them, it's a fact that every year they have to undergo an inspection. But let me tell you one thing. This inspection, which the Dubai government has made mandatory for everyone, every school, on the same parameters of international standards, has brought up our Indian schools to a very high level.
Okay.
I've been there for 10 years. I've been doing this. Every year, I go there and we have a team of inspectors from all over the world, and we all go together for a week, whole week, to a school, and we evaluate the school in every aspect, looking at all round, the school's performance. And I have seen the change. I've seen the tremendous change, improvement, and excellence happening in our Indian schools. CBSE schools run by the Indians, attended by Indians, and it is really very, very heartening to see that. And when we are talking about NEP 2020, it's been there all along in all these years, and I'm so glad that it is happening here at last in India as well. And I'm sure it's going to bring a lot of changes, very, very required changes in our education. Because I've been, as I told you, 4 decades is a long journey, and I've seen the evolution of education everywhere around the world, and it's really been really a tremendous journey from what I've learned, and I've been able to then share with everyone. And that is what I'm passionate about, because it's not enough to keep on learning, but also to share with others so that everyone gets the benefit of what you have experienced. And this, yeah.
It would be a pleasure. You can share that 10 years experience with the UAE also with us. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
The experience in UAE has been fantastic. The learning for me has been so great, because when we go as a team, there are more than 100 inspectors, and among them, about only 10 Indians. And when we go to a school, to an Indian school, only one Indian inspector, and the rest are all from other parts of the world, usually from UK and from America, from even from Japan. So it's a very mixed bag of people, and the sharing that we have of best practices across the world, that makes a lot of difference. And then when we go to the school and we look at every bit of the school, how it's performing in every area, whether it be teaching, learning, or the personality development of students, or the leadership in the school, or the way the children are looked after, all these things, parents. So we interview teachers, parents, students, we observe classes, we sit in the classroom, and not only we don't evaluate them just like that, we collect evidences which we can present to the school first and then to the world. It's published, it's on the net. The whole inspection, you can say, report is finally open to the public, for the public to make informed choices when they want to take up, when they want the children to join a school, which is such a transparent system that it gives me great pleasure to be there. And I remember wanting this so much for our country also. And so Vineet Joshi, when he was a chairman of CBSE, I met him personally. And when I shared this with him, he was very happy. And he did what he told me, to send me at least a little bit of the framework from there so that we can look at it for the Indian diaspora. Unfortunately, he went away and things were left where it was. But I'll continue with my crusade, which is wherever I can, wherever it's possible for me to use those criteria and parameters, I keep on using them. And a lot of schools today in India also are really showing that kind of change, that international quality of standard that we are trying to achieve. Unfortunately, our major population is in places where we are not able to reach there. So that is why when we started this 6 years back, when I started Trinity, I wanted a CBSE school but with international standards,
Wonderful.
matching with those which I have seen in the UAE, so
Wonderful.
that and also make the fees very affordable, so that
Okay.
we can at least cater to the middle class. Usually, there's a lot of things for the elitists and a lot of things for the underprivileged, but everyone leaves the middle part, which is the major chunk in our society.
Society.
So I thought this is where we need to, really work on. And
So, what are your expectations from the new education policy, ma'am?
my expectations are that it should be implemented the way it has been visualized.
Yeah.
That is my major concern over here, because
Okay.
I feel that all said and done, beautiful, wonderful, but are we going to be able to implement it in a way that it is successful across the country?
Wonderful.
That
So,
is the main
policy
concern.
has been made. Now, the implementation part, you are very keen
Yes.
about it. It should be
Yes.
implemented in totality.
But then we've made our first big step,
Yeah.
not a baby step, but a big step.
It's a
But
big
we
step.
can now move
Yeah.
on from there. Yes, we start at the starting point is there. Now we have to
Wonderful.
run. So we
Wonderful.
have to train. We have to train our teachers to do that running, so that they reach the winning point.
Okay.
So
This
that's
is
what we will be looking at.
This is very interesting. I'll come on this point also. Very important point you have touched. Now, the other day, Asha Bhosle ji, the playback singer,
Yeah.
she complimented the Honorable Prime Minister and she complimented the Education Minister of India, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank ji, and the entire team, that this is for the first time that the science children will be able to learn music. Commerce students will be in a position to do fashion designing. And you touched a very important point, that our educators, our teachers' empowerment. So, what are your suggestions on the capacity building of our teacher? Because we got to do the hand holding for them. We got to empower
Absolutely.
them. Yeah. So,
Absolutely.
what are your suggestions?
First thing, I would like the beard to be really a much more progressive, you know, um, uh, program,
Okay.
because we've been following the same system for so many years. Things
Okay.
have changed. We talk about 21st century skills and all these things, but they are not actually there. So the training, teacher training, has to really become very robust if
Okay.
we want this to happen. That is
Okay.
the first thing, because if teachers are not capable, or they have not been given that, they're not able to reach that, as I said, if we have not taught them how to run,
Okay.
how will we reach the winning point?
So, with such a long experience of yours, almost 4 decades you have dedicated to the education ecosystem. Give me 5 points which you feel which we should incorporate as far as our teacher capacity building, empowerment, encouragement, training. What is to be done? Give me some few tips, ma'am.
Yes, yes. The
Yeah.
very first thing that I
Ah,
want to talk about is about learning.
learning. Okay.
I What I have learned even from the UAE, when we sit in a classroom to observe a class, we are not looking at the teaching strategy. We are looking at the learning. Whichever strategy works, fine, as long as learning takes place. We always look at the wrong end of the stick. We always look at the teaching, but we're not looking at the learning. So I think that is where our whole, uh, focus should be. Is
Okay.
learning happening or not?
Okay.
How do we assess whether learning has happened? You know
Okay.
how when you ask a child, where are you, which school you go to, and where you study? I study. I study in grade one. They don't say I learn in grade one or grade two or grade nine. I study. They don't, because learning is not, synonymous with studying for them.
Okay.
Learning is not something that really is what they want to do. They've come to school because everyone goes to school. It's a compulsion. And for a long time, we have been using books as the only tool for teaching, which now in the child mind is synonymous with that bondage of a school. If you ask a child, he loves to the school because of his friends, because of the games he can play over there, but not because of what is happening in the classroom. So that is where we need to change our thinking. So that is why a lot of these schools which are doing alternative learning styles, which have adopted, they are doing very well. But at the same time, I personally feel we need to have a balance between the two, the conventional and the non-conventional,
Hmm.
because ultimately that board result is going to affect the future of the child, and that is the expectation from the parent.
Okay.
So we have to really find the path which is just right. And as you said, the NEP, I think it's wonderful what they have done, that a child can choose any subject, any kind of, this is what happens abroad, in all the other countries. There are no limited, streams, as we call them, the science stream, the commerce stream, art stream. What was that? How does that, and how do you understand learning from that? And how do you understand what the child wants to do from there?
Okay.
That is why parents' expectations always, my child should be an engineer, my child should be a doctor, an MBA. That's all they think about. And the poor children have to follow their children, parents' expectation and toe the line.
Okay, let's take it now, ma'am. Let's make it very stimulating and rewarding because you have been a teacher also, you have been a principal also, now you are a director also. So you have been wearing the various hats and you have seen all the seasons, all the climatic conditions, and all these years for 4 decades. What should we do for hand holding of teachers? What should we do?
Definitely, training is needed. Definitely, we need to choose and select our teachers
Okay.
for competencies rather than for their qualification and their BEd, whether they are BEd trained or not, whether they are qualified or not. We don't look at, do they have the skill sets? Do
Okay.
they have those skill sets? At least when I interview for a teacher, I put these as secondary, priorities for me. My main priority, does the teacher love teaching? Does this person love children? Does this person love teaching? Is she
Okay.
enthusiastic? Is she a learner? That is what I look for in a teacher.
It's more like a psychological uh, intake or understanding. It is basically you want to see the psychological part more.
That is very important.
Yeah.
Because even if they are not very good with knowledge,
Yeah.
they can acquire knowledge, they can even get trained properly. Skills they can, yes, they can achieve a lot of skills. They can do that also. All this can be, it's possible to acquire. But what you can't acquire is the intrinsic feeling that you have that I love being a teacher. I love children. If
Wonderful.
that is missing, all other things may not ultimately work out.
Wonderful. Would you like to share any presentation, any PPT with our audience? Because a lot of people, those who have joined this program, they are from Germany background, they are from Spanish background, they are from French background. So, you know, when we talk about the colloquial in the English language alone, do you want to share any slides or any PPT of yours?
Actually, when I had spoken to Chitra yesterday, I was talking to her more about our present situation and
Okay.
how we are facing this,
Okay.
you know,
Let's talk.
digital learning.
Let's talk from that perspective.
Yeah.
So,
So I prepared something for that.
Let's
What
talk
I've
about
done is, so I always look at problems. Today,
Yes.
at present, the problem with our teachers, with our schools is
Okay.
that are we doing justice with this digital kind of learning?
Okay.
Are we doing that? So
Hmm.
how can we look at it in a way, you know, how can we evaluate ourselves? How can we reflect on what we have been doing all these months? In the beginning, we just thrown into the water and everyone started swimming. Slowly, slowly they become better swimmers. But
Hmm.
now is the time to reflect on 6 months down the line. Where are we? What were the challenges we faced, and how are we? Have we overcome them? Have we been able to achieve what we wanted to? Especially the learning outcomes. Are they being achieved? Are we able to measure those achievements or no? Which I'm sure many of the people, educators, are worried about and thinking, yes. So it's a bit not in tune with what you were talking about. So I don't know whether you would like to hear about it or whether you can continue
No.
talking in other way. I'm perfectly fine.
We would be very keen to hear you, ma'am, on that.
Okay, okay. So I'll just do a little. I'll do it in a very short span of time
Sure.
because,
Sure.
as I said, it is
You take it.
mostly
No, no, ma'am, you take your time. We want to take maximum benefit from you. Please,
Okay, okay,
please go ahead.
okay,
Please go ahead.
okay, okay. I'll just share my PPT.
Sure. And take your time, ma'am. There is no rush. There is no hurry.
Okay,
I want
okay, okay.
you to do justice with the subject, ma'am.
Right, right. So now at present,
Also, I would like to make a request. Somebody got to assist you because your mic is making a noise over there. Your mic. That
okay.
somewhere the mic is giving a noise. So I would make a request to you. If
Is it better now?
yes,
Is it
it's
better now?
It's
Yeah.
better, but still a little echo is coming in between. Okay, please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay. So now as we're talking about where we are right now, not only us but throughout the world, we are all in this position where we are transitioning into the new normal, which we call the new normal in education, which will continue for quite some time. I'm sure we will not be, you know, there is going to continue for a very, very long time. Although we will have physical classes and schools will reopen. In some countries, they've already reopened, but again, we are having those staggered classes and still we are doing the integrated system where we are doing both. So I feel right now I wanted to share this with the rest of the educators about what are the problems we are facing now and what can we do to improve that. So of course, the main challenges are we are not able to see our students. The teachers are not able to see the students. There is only one way communication happening. Most of the teachers are still teaching with the Blackboard, Jamboard, or other boards that they are available, and almost teaching in the same manner that they were doing in the classroom, hoping to get some result out of it. But it does not leave any room for engagement with the students. So that is a major problem facing many. Then maintaining their interest for a long period. It's okay in the classroom even there, I feel in the classroom also, it's very difficult to maintain their interest. As I was explaining the other day to you, like in our school, what we've started subject rooms instead of classrooms. So there is no grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9. We have the English room, we have the science room, we have the social studies room, and the children move from one room to the other, and they go to the lockers in the corridor in between. So they get 5 minutes of time to kind of refocus on whatever they need to do next. And talking to their friends and peers really makes them feel a little more comfortable. And as I said, learning has to be a joyful experience. We can't just make them, force them to, force the horse to drink the water. So we have to make the water tempting enough for the horse to want to drink it. So that is something that we are not able to do. Of course, the network problem is happening more here in India because we don't have those kind of facilities, and especially in families where the parents are working, there are more than one child in the family. Too many gadgets you can't do anything about that. And the major problem is, how are we able to meet our learning outcomes, and how are we measuring them? Are we achieving it or not? Do we get any feedback? And is the feedback that we are getting reliable? Because we recently held our assessment, our field assessment, and a lot of teachers felt that the result was just not, in sync with what they knew about the child. So definitely there's less of credibility in those assessment reports. So these are some of the challenges that we have. So let's look at how can we make it more effective. What are the things we can do in order to combat all these problems that we are facing?
Madam, would you like to move your presentation? Because it has to move, only we are on the first slide.
Oh, I've already moved it.
No, ma'am, it has not moved because we are just on the first slide only, transitioning to the new normal in education. We are on that slide, ma'am.
Oh, how come?
No,
Because
no.
I'm moving it, but it doesn't seem to be sharing. See, this is what happens with technology.
No. Right, ma'am, I'll tell you the steps. I'll tell you the
Okay.
steps.
Okay.
On the top, it is written enable editing. Just press on that.
Okay.
On the top, in the yellow line, it is written enable editing. Just print over there. Just press on that.
It just says you are screen sharing, and it says live, and it says stop share. That's all.
Now what? No, ma'am. What I'll do? Then down below, you have got a sign, which is like a cup. Down below on the right-hand side corner of your screen. Down below.
Okay.
Where one small book is open, and next to that there is a cup sort of a thing which is being shown. It is down below, right side of your monitor. Down below there are 4 icons. In that, the last icon, that is like a cup, like an ice
I'll
cream
have to
cup.
stop sharing and go there then.
Okay, just try it out, ma'am. Just try it out.
Let me look at more.
No worries, because your screen.
Okay, I think actually it's all right if we can't see the slides. I think what I'm saying is relevant to what
Okay.
I want to talk about.
So what we can do, you can read your slides and explain and let people enjoy. Meanwhile, I would request all our viewers world over, wherever you are, kindly you can post in the YouTube where you're watching this particular program. I would request all teachers, all educators, kindly post it. What is one skill you would like to acquire during pandemic? Every teacher kindly post, because we want to have your participation also. So every teacher, I would request you kindly post it. What is one skill you would like to require during pandemic? Okay, ma'am, please go ahead.
I'm trying to optimize screen sharing. Anyway, maybe on my laptop I don't have this. Anyway, as I was saying,
No worries.
I
No
was
worries.
talking about how can we overcome all these problems that we have been facing in our digital spaces.
Okay.
So, uh, most important I feel is what we are doing is the engagement is not happening. The
Uh,
feedback
your
is not
your
happening.
screen your screen now you can close because it's blank now, na? So what you can do
Okay.
on the top right hand corner, there is a cross kind of a thing. You can just close that. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Now your screen is closed. So what we will do, we will have gallery view. Okay, ma'am. Now we are together. So you keep sharing your vision and you can have your slide show, your screen show next to you to give you just the leads or whatever you want to refer. You can see
Okay.
on your laptop. You can see on your
Okay.
laptop
Okay.
yourself.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, all teachers, I would request all of you, all educators world over, kindly post in the YouTube Dr. Gulshan Sharma's channel where you're watching this particular program. I would request you over there, kindly post what is one skill you would like to acquire during this pandemic, during this lockdown. I would request, okay, right. Kajal ma'am, you're writing tech savvy. Okay. Then Yusuf ji, fabric painting. Okay. Then Deepthi Thakur ma'am, enable. Okay. Smita Gosavi, I would require to become more taco savvy to bring out the new method so that it becomes more easy at both hands. Wonderful. Keep participating and we will keep hearing our distinguished guest, Madam Shakuntala Jai Singhani ji. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, we're talking about the techo savvy. That's what I was talking. I was going to say. So I was going to talk about that only. I was
Okay.
saying that I know we not a lot of us are challenged, technology challenged. But I know if I can learn, I'm sure everyone can. I'm of that age when there were no computers at all. We had no computers. We had no computers in schools where I was teaching. It came much later. But by now, I've become quite accustomed and I've learned a lot of things. You just need to put your mind to it. And I think that mindset, if we change, that's good enough. So I'm talking about techno savvy. There are so many tools online which I've been doing some kind of workshops also with CBSE called gamification. Gamification in learning. How games can be used for
Wonderful.
learning.
Wonderful.
So there are beautiful tools available online, and I can name some of them for those who are interested. They can
Please,
go and look at it.
I
They
will
can.
also be your student in that. Please.
Okay, okay, okay.
I'm very keen about it. Hanji ma'am.
So there's something called Quizlet Live. There's something called Quizzes. There's Padlet. Something very interesting about Padlet is you can have a discussion group in a Padlet, which is what is missing in our classes. We are not able to get any discussions done with children, and it is real time. So what happens is in the your online class, you pose a question to them, and everyone writes, and you are able to see that on screen what everyone has written. So that way that engagement will happen. So Padlet is a beautiful instrument, a beautiful tool that can be used for a number of things. Similarly, quizzes is again real time. You just pose some questions and immediately your feedback can be seen on your screen, which you share with your students, and they can see how they have done, who has done well, which question was answered. So whole analysis is done right in front of them. So it
Wonderful.
keeps them engaged, keep them interested. Okay, let me see, where am I, what have I done. No, that kind of interest is created in the students. And if that is interspersed with your teaching, so you've done some teaching, your conventional teaching, you've talked to them, maybe showed a video or something, and then pose some questions. So in this way, you're also doing a kind of a formative assessment to see whether whatever your learning outcomes are being achieved or not. One examination at the end of 6 months or 1 year is not going to give you that result. You will get a continuous result. And if you keep on doing after in every class, if you keep on asking just 4 questions, 3 questions, then there's something called Mentimeter. Again, These are all real-time tools. So you put the link in the chat box, that all the children click on it and they go to that site and they answer that question, and it is reflected on your screen, on the teacher's screen. So that is being shared with the children. So they have a lot of these tools which they can use in the classroom, and they can share it with the children. On Kahoot is another very good uh, site where, uh, and these are all free, by the way. They're all free. So they don't have to invest too much also in it.
Yeah,
Yes, you have to invest some time.
Kahoot is very interesting. I have used extensively. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes. So now this will create an interest in the student also. And at the same time, it will make your assessments more credible, more reliable, and you get a feedback, and you also get to know what is happening, whether the children, when you're teaching, but is learning happening or not. You're getting that feedback. How much have they understood? How much have they not? Plus, reasoning, connecting to real life. I think that is another thing missing from when we teach in our, conventional manner. We do not equate what we are teaching with real life situations. So it's very abstract to the child and it makes no sense. All he thinks he needs to do is learn by rote, bring it out in your examination, write it in the examination, get the marks, and you're done. But that's not how it should be. That's not at all the way we should. Here, I want to share one very interesting experience in the UAE. We had gone to a CBSE school and we went to the practical classroom for science with my whole team. We are about 10 of us usually in a team, all the other 9 from different countries. And in one of the teams, it was uh, so unique that everyone was from a different country.
Okay.
So it was very interesting. So when we went to this practical classroom, the children were, it was grade 11 or 12 who were doing the experiment. Experiment, we call it experiment. But the other inspectors said, where is experiment in this? You got an objective is given to you. You look at the objective, you're given the materials, you have the ingredients, the materials are there. You perform something, a task, and you take down some readings, and then the inference is what you already know. And you're writing down an inference. Where is the scientific, stages of learning in this kind of practical? So then I had to explain to them that this is what we do in India. So please don't judge us from there. This is the norm. So you just ignore, your thoughts about how it should be and just take it at face value and say, okay, are they performing in the way they should? We are just looking at the skills that we are developing in this. So I tried to make up by saying that no, we are just developing skills for them to do, hands-on experiments. But because I didn't have an answer for that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what is missing right now with us, So in our schools. So these are the things that we have to do. In science, you're told first, say the principle Archimedes, and then you're given some examples. Why can't it be the other way around? Why can't it be the children try out something and then we lead to the principle? What, how it happened? Why can't they do some kind of, activity themselves so that they arrive at some conclusions on their own, right or wrong, it doesn't matter. So that's what we don't allow our children to do. We don't allow them to think for themselves. We just tell them what is there in the book is gospel truth, learn it, and that's it. That's all you need to get very high marks in your examinations. And I get very upset when I hear a teacher saying, children, in the exam you will get like this, so you learn like this. And I'm like, okay, is that all we are doing? So definitely we are very exam oriented in our country, and that is the reason. And that is what NEP will do, will really repair that we have already.
It will bring a change.
This is what it will change. This is what it's going to make a difference. Okay. If it is implemented in spirit, as it is in the you know,
So,
vision that has been.
so there are three stages. One was
Yeah,
the policy formulation. Now
yeah,
policy formulated. Now second stage is implementation. And then there'll be a third stage, whatever is being thought, whatever is being implemented. Now we got to see the monitoring part of it. What are the
yes,
results? What is
yes,
the outcome? Outcome.
yes,
That is
yes.
also very important. Very important.
Yes, but that'll come towards the end, and will take quite some time before we reach that stage, you know.
That
So I
stage.
think we have started the first stage, and one very interesting thing about NEP that I found was that for the first time, they are asking opinions and suggestions from everyone, from teachers.
Yes.
Now
Ma'am,
CBSE has asked
they,
every teacher.
ma'am, they have gone up to block level. They have gone to
Yes,
panchayats. They have gone to villages. They have taken every panchayat into consideration. And imagine one good year, more than 1 year, they have been getting the suggestions, and so much of feedback has come to the ministry. And thereafter only they gave the green signal on 29th of July in the evening for this particular program. So I think a lot of homework has been done onto it.
yes, yes, yes. I think that is a very, I think,
Positive.
encouraging,
Yeah.
very encouraging to look at the way they are going about it.
How do
So,
you look, how do you look at music as a part of education?
absolutely. Do you know we have made music compulsory in our school for every child?
Share
And
something
I
with that.
and
Share something.
so yes. So when we made it compulsory, I had a lot of parents coming and saying, "I don't want my child to be a musician." Then I had to explain to them, we are not teaching them to become musicians. We are teaching them music is a very good therapy. And, okay, I'll share something very personal. I have started taking piano lessons recently. The
See?
reason being, you use both your hands in the piano. And at our age, we have to be very careful about certain things. And
Yeah.
especially, you know, when you are at an age when, yes, Alzheimer's and others are, you know, there in front of you, you need to
Totally.
take care of yourself in every way. So a lot of, you know, when you play with both your hands, when you play the piano, your synapses are getting stronger,
Yes.
and that is how you are exercising your brain also.
Yes.
So music is a therapy in itself. It's a learning in itself. And I think I give a lot of importance to it. And as I said, I had to convince the parents a lot when they told me my child is not interested in learning an instrument. My child doesn't want to be a musician. We are not training them to become, you know, or even to give the Trinity examination, you know, music school examination. We are just giving them an opportunity, A, to learn a new skill, which is very good for them, B, for them to have that therapeutical feeling, you know, and C, it's a very feel good, you know, kind of thing. Whether you want to, whether you excel in it or not. But yes, at the same time, you're also giving a platform to those who are budding musicians so that
Okay.
they can improve on that.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, world over, those who are watching this particular program, I wish to share with all of you, post your comments, because Madam is of a firm opinion, music should be the integral part of our education system. And same goes from my side also. In a recent past, there was a lady who lived up to 107 years. She was in Germany, and when you watch that particular, she was playing piano, and when you go through the entire thing on the YouTube, and you just type over there German Jews, and then music, then piano, then a lady, this lady, she was spared, and because she used to play piano, and she was not hurt, she was not being hurt by anybody, and they spared her because every evening she used to play a piano for all the soldiers, and she lived up to 107 years. And she was telling, music is my life, music is my food, music is my oxygen, music is my living, music is my happiness. Everything she talked about music. So kindly post your views in the YouTube. I want all of us, those are watching this particular program. First of all, I want to know how many people are watching this program. And secondly, I would like to get an input from all of you. What are your views onto music? And what do you want to say whether music should be the integral part of our education or not? Two votes I have already got. Madam is for the music, and I am having both the hands up, and I say for music
Yes.
because I believe in a music so much. Because I believe that if you want to remain happy, if you want to remain young, if you want to remain positive, if you want to remain energetic, if you want to enjoy your lifespan, it is very important that you should enjoy music. Even if you don't sing, doesn't make a difference. You should listen to music. You should do humming. And when you prepare a food in the kitchen, that time, if you play a beautiful music, see the taste which comes into that particular food. That also I would like to take on one step ahead. Okay, ma'am, let's have your views
You're
now.
talking about humming.
Yeah.
In yoga, I do yoga, practice yoga every morning also.
Yes.
We do what we call Brahmari.
Yes.
So in
Mm.
Brahmari, you just have the sound that comes, that reverberates around you and makes your environment enriched.
Yes.
And I think that is why that sound has a very important message for everyone.
Very good.
So
Very good.
if there are some more questions, I think we have little time. I can answer some questions if there are any.
I'll check up, ma'am. I'll check up in the group. People must be enjoying the music. It refreshes our mind. Khan, Firdaus, yes, Smita, ma'am, it refreshes our mind. Then Tasneem, Rangat, music refreshes and soothes the mind. Yes. Then Archana 2214, music should be an integral part, definitely. Smita Gosavi, yes, music is very soothing. And if any subject gets combined with music, children learn faster because of the rhythm and sound. I think this lady deserves an applaud from me
Yes,
also,
yes,
Smita
yes, yes,
Gosavi. Smita
yes.
Gosavi, because the word which
But that's why we have rhyming in our
uh,
classes. And do you know one more thing? If you make your whole learning into a rhyme, children
yes,
will remember it better. And that
yes,
is how a lot of songs are made. So that,
okay,
especially in the lower classes, we
right,
use songs and rhymes for children to learn. So that
okay.
is like beautiful way. That's the way one learns easily.
She has posted second comment also, Smita Goswami. Gosavi, music is like the string of a guitar, only sweet melody is heard. Wow. Then Tasneem Rangat, as kids enjoy music and energize the kids. Okay, Archana K2214, not only the students, teacher too needs to refresh their system. Yes, we agree. We totally agree. Kajal ma'am, to connect with the mind, body, and soul. Yes, it is a must. So you're talking about body, mind, and soul. I'm talking about spirit also. Four of them. Okay. Namrata Bobde. Music even calms and relaxes us. Wow, that's great.
Thought we were
That's
going to do
one.
question answers, but here it looks like we are all strengthening this music being
Yes,
a very
yes,
important,
yes, yes,
ingredient in the learning
yes.
diaspora.
No, no, because ma'am, you know why? Because from India, if India has to become Vishwa Guru, if India has to reposition itself and reclaim to what we used to be, because when you look at Takshila, when you look at Nalanda, when you look at Vikramshila, people coming from entire world and taking education over there. So, that is something which we all have to understand very well. And also, now Archana K2214 has written, music heals all the pains. Wow, that's great. And Smita ma'am has sent thanks to her, to you. Then Namrata Bobde, music even calms and relaxes all of us. So it's something very nice. I'm very happy because I love music. I want music to be the integral part. और अगर किसी को वीडियो मिलता है, I will give you the special prize on this universe if anybody can find out. मैं बहुत दिनों से लगा हुआ हूँ और मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि मेरे को कोई वीडियो ऐसा मिल जाए कि तानसेन जी जब गाते थे, वो राग जब गाते थे, राग दीपक, तो दिए अपने आप कैसे जल जाते थे. I want to know, was it symbolic or was it in reality? I want to understand that. If anybody finds a video on Tansen and somewhere, if you can give me the Rag Deepak, I would be extremely, extremely happy, and I would salute you and I would reward you and I would regard you and I would be the most happy person on this planet. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have the concluding remarks now from ma'am. Let her give the concluding remarks that we are talking about gamification in education. We are talking about teacher empowerment in education. We are talking about music therapy in education. So let's have something very powerful for global empowerment of the entire education ecosystem.
So as I said, we are now in the technology age. Yes, we all have to face that as a fact, and we all of us have to start changing our mindset about it, and we all have to become, as they said, techno savvy, because if we want the future, we have to look at the future. The future is what we are talking about, and the future of the students. When we talk about that, we have to look at those things which are required for that kind of, for a student or for a child to be successful in future, not only as in professionally, but also very importantly as a human being. I think that is something what we Indians have values. We always, all of us in India, we do put a lot of emphasis on value education, values in school, in children, whether it comes at home from the family or from the school. That is a very important, I think, aspect, which now even in America, in their curriculum, if you will be surprised, they've added one more addition to their curriculum called character building. Just a few years back, when they're talking about Mr. Obama was talking about the ex-president of the US, he was talking about the future. When we talk about the future schools or the future of the schools, he was saying that this is what we all have to look at, and I think that is true. We have to look at character building as a very, very important aspect in our lives.
Value education.
So,
yes.
Apart from value education, shouldn't be like we read out one lesson or a story or anything like that. That's not value education. Value education is more about asking children questions about how they would face certain situations. We used to have a board in our school where we used to ask the children to post. So we would write questions like, if your friend did something wrong, would you tell the teacher about it? Here is where the child has to think. What is whether it is good to be right or whether it is good to be kind and a friend. These are the things that we have to inculcate in our students to start thinking about right now.
Great, great.
I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for giving me this platform, and it was great having been with you.
Yeah,
it was a wonderful session with you, and I loved every part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Dr. Gulshan for inviting me.
My deepest and heartiest regards to you. And some more people have posted. I must recognize them. There is Razia Chaudhary. I must make a mention. Razia Chaudhary. Music is the soul of life and satisfies the mind. Then Shubhashish Bhattacharya. That is the Lexicon International School, Wagholi. Soni Chatar, music is a relax and a fresh of mind. Then Archana K2214, we should dedicate 5 minutes during the prayers assembly so that all of us get benefited. Great. Sachin Gonkhale, that is music is life and gives positive energy and students enjoy it a lot. Then Kajal ma'am, yes, music is the way of life. And then of course, music ki Pathshala. And then Archana ma'am has posted dancing, Zumba, yoga has too got a similar effect on our mind and body. Yes, Madam Jai Singhani ma'am told she Brahmari, and of course I would say with that Anulom Vilom, and
Yes.
you know the thing is what is that called? What is one more I do early in the morning? One is Anulom Vilom. Well, Kapal Bhati
Yes.
also
Yes.
quite a bit. Almost
Yes.
1,000 time I do every day in the morning for 2 hours.
Oh, great.
So then comes a Rehana, Rehana Master. Music relaxes our mind. It should be a part of education. Khan Firdaus, thank you so much, ma'am. It was wonderful. Golden words and your knowledge. And then, of course, Kajal and then Tasneem Rangaji. Thank you, ma'am. So this is what wonderful which has come, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of takeaway. Teachers should be empowered. Teachers should be encouraged. There should be a capacity building program for teachers. Besides that, gamification, then the music part of it. And we will close this session on the music because I come from the armed forces. And I would close this on the musical notes because it was a wonderful interaction with Madam for the entire universe.
My pleasure.
देश से है प्यार तो देश से है प्यार तो हर पल ये कहना चाहिए मैं रहूं या ना रहूं भारत ये रहना चाहिए सिलसिला ये बाद मेरे यूं ही चलना चाहिए मैं रहूं या ना रहूं भारत ये रहना चाहिए. Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you very much
Thank
to have you with
You
us.
sing with your heart, not with your mouth, but with your heart.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.